Hey, what's up, everybody in the cyberspace, cyber world? It is us, the Young Melanated Council. Whoop, whoop. Yes, that one right there, minus the green screen. But yes, that one right there, minus the green screen. Yes, it is
Woo!
us. We are here. We are live in full effect. Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We try to do what we do and everything else. Also, like, subscribe, enjoy the show. And that's it. That's all we have to ask is just like and enjoy the show. Comment whenever you feel free to comment. Post some tips because today we're going to be talking about some life skills. But
Okay.
the one life skill that everybody should try to do, whether
Hey.
you're a professional or a noob, whatever the case may be, gardening. Talking about gardening and why this life skill is important to us. And as you can tell, we all have names that's a derivative of gardening. And then Toby, explain to the people, Mish.
Woo, Mish.
Hey, Mish.
Hey,
Hey, friend. Like, Toby, explain to the people the reason behind your name because you got us all like cheesing from ear to ear. And we're like, okay, what's up?
Yeah, and you have two A's in garden on
Yeah.
purpose.
so Hogarden,
Right. Yes.
favorite bowls, which I'm not actually going to drink live on air too much because I've been recovering from a cold and alcohol. Well, it depends on the type of alcohol, but I will prefer my I have a little bit of whiskey, which I'll drink a little whiskey,
Okay.
but beer, I don't know.
I mean, like, I'd be lying if, the Jamaican cure wasn't like Ray and Nephew for a lot of things. So
Wait,
I
what is that?
approve. Ray and Nephew, the rum, the white rum.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like 80%. Like it's like 80 proof or something. It's something ridiculously.
Okay.
No, it's overproofed. What am I saying? It's overproofed.
Overproof.
hmm
Interesting.
In America, you can't get like the actual full effect rum. You have to go to Jamaica to get like the real. So if you go to Jamaica and get Ray and Nephew there, it's like a higher percentage than in America. But even though in America it's still high as hell, and I don't really drink it.
Yeah.
It's a good rum though. Like if you, I don't know, want to get really drunk really fast, but it's a good drunk though. It's a good drunk.
So
Like,
interesting.
I still recommend it. Yeah.
Ray and Nephew. I'm gonna have to.
WRAY.
Oh wow, WRA.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Ray and Nephew. Okay, I see it.
And they do sell it in Boston. I went on a date with a guy in Boston to a liquor store, and we bought that. That's how I introduced it to him.
That's an interesting, nice. Okay, I kind of like that. Liquor store, brewery, distillery. Those are some interesting date ideas. I see it on Instacart for $20. Literally, the first option says $20 Instacart. So, and that's a price drop from $26.
Okay, yeah, that's a good price.
I'm gonna have to look. I've seen something like this before. Actually, I think I may have seen this before, but at a party. But in any case, alcohol discussions only tangentially related to gardens. If you want to talk about brewing and stuff.
I mean, you need the best barley or wheat. I mean, just saying, you need the best of the best, and why not grow your best to make sure you have the best?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, it could be very related. Actually,
I mean, just saying, because again, when we're thinking about gardening, we're thinking about beer and alcohol, wine, whatever the case you may think. It starts somewhere. Process starts somewhere, and wherever that process starts, that's where your humble beginnings go. So,
Right.
very true.
Well, let me ask this question, and then we could kind of, go from there. Like, have you guys tried like actually gardening within the past few years? And if you have, what's your experience? And if not,
why not? Or would you?
Yeah.
So like I grew up I actually had 2 glasses of wine today, so I'm feeling kind of nice, like right before coming here. So I grew up like my mom has always been really into plants. Like we've always had like plants in the house, plants in the patio, plants in the backyard. Like because of her, I have like a ton of plants in the patio and even in the front here. And so, like sometimes like the family would always help her out with the plants. It was never plants to grow like food or anything. It was just plants, just green plants, not even flowers, just plants. And I don't know, she loved it. She'd even like steal plants. Like Jamaican women do this where like they would, because you take like the plant, you probably like cut it and then you put it in like water and then it grows the roots. And with the roots, you can, plant it in the soil, then you create a plant. Like see it. So, my mom would be like, oh yeah, I stole this plant from this place. It'd be like, I don't know, like a government building, they have plants outside the front, or like a place or like, Walmart. I don't know. Like they'll have like these little like Jamaican, people do this all the time. I feel like this would be like the weirdest form of like robbery, like I feel like it's like freaking G-rated that it shouldn't even. I'm sure like if my mom were to listen to this, she'd get embarrassed, but I've heard so many Jamaican women. I've heard of so many stories of like my Jamaican friends and like their moms are like, oh yeah, they steal plants and do this kind of shit all the time. So, so like that has always just been in my family and my, growing up in my childhood. And fun fact, I'm the last of 7. I don't know how many times I've mentioned this on the podcast, but and 6 out of 7 of us went to college. The only one who didn't was my brother with autism, and it's because he has autism.
Right.
So as like a going away gift, my mom would always give us a plant. So it was like an away tradition. And I believe I was the only one to actually keep the same plant all 4 years and keep it alive. I can't tell you even where this plant is. It probably, like when I brought it home, then like my mom took care of it, and I don't know what happened. I moved away and I totally forgot about the plant. Unfortunately, because I actually really liked the plant. It was a nice addition to like my dorm room and my, like at my apartment in college and things like that. But yeah, like so I have a couple of plants here. I take care of the plants. I do like plants, and it's nice that people are getting into plants more, especially during the pandemic. It's sort of a nice break from pets. So some people have plants because people are allergic to pets and everything, and you can have a plant, and it just sort of brings joy and happiness to you. Actually, I want to say it was today I wrote a tweet saying like a life hack that you can look up plants on Amazon, don't buy any, and then you'll see the ads of plants like everywhere that you go on the internet, and it's just nice because plants are like it's always positive. You never look at a plant and you're like you get upset and mad. Like plants, I'd say, are very neutral. They're very bipartisan. Hence why politicians will be like, oh, I'm going to plant, like, we're going to plant 10,000 trees because no one can really argue with that. But if you say you want to plant like marijuana, then that's, a partisan thing. Getting less partisan, fortunately. But yeah, like my sister and her husband, like they have, they plant trees and like vegetables and things like that, like in their home. Like they have like an ackee tree. Ackee is like a native, technically fruit from Jamaica. We tend to eat it with like our breakfast. Like we have ackee and saltfish. It has like a creamy texture, but it's technically a fruit, and it's really good. If you ever go to like a Jamaican restaurant, especially if they serve breakfast, I highly recommend ackee and saltfish, but be careful because you can be allergic to it and die. But,
Okay.
Well, I doubt, but you can get very sick. I don't know about. Yeah, it is actually highly poisonous, but you might not be, allergic to it, so it could be fine. So, yeah, like I was actually thinking recently that I do want to start growing some, I don't know, maybe like basil, like thyme or rosemary, something kind of easy in my patio that I could just sort of put in. But yeah, I haven't been really like gardening. I've never actually like gone on not recently. Like I used to like pick weeds and stuff like that out of my mom's garden, but I never actually like gone on my knees and had like the little like hoe and kind of like, just dug and things like that. But I do have some plants that I do need to repot. I actually, have like a couple of like little tiny plants that I keep around the house too. And I just put one on my computer desk. But yeah. So that's my experience with gardening. Never really anything about like vegetables really, but I do want to get into that.
All right. Oh, looks like
Ron, I think like something's wrong with your mic.
It's not even he is the same thing. Oh.
Yeah.
2-factor, 2-stage.
Right. I noticed that, like, I was like, I feel like he's saying something, or he might just be like miming it, but he's like hella quiet though.
No,
they're muting or something, and a little bit of it, which I think is gonna win.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So,
that's the most specific stereotype. These two plants.
Yeah. Yeah, that had me dying. I was not gonna post that up. Like, no, that will be left right there on the right hand corner.
Oh, no, I would have been fine with it. That's actually a nice stereotype for Jamaican women, actually.
Hey, there you go.
Everything is a plant. Every cure to anything is always a plant. I remember seeing a video that was like this Jamaican guy. It was near the beginning of COVID, and he was like, so the cure to this is plant yourself into your house and don't go anywhere until this is over. So I was like, what? I was like, what plant is he about to say? It's going to cure COVID. And he's like, plant your butt down in the chair and don't go outside.
Awesome.
I like him.
I forgot what. Like who it was. It's probably that Cucumber guy.
Cucumber?
Well, the guy who always is like showing like all these different vegetables and plants, and he does like these like songs. He's like a really popular Jamaican, like, I don't know if he's a YouTuber or social media personality, but he always has like these kind of catchy like songs, and it's always very healthy. Everything's very healthy. Like he had the one girl, she's Jamaican and from Virgin Island, probably St. Croix.
Okay.
He was showing me the video like 4 years ago. It was like something cucumber.
Yeah, I remember because
you know what I'm talking about.
Like we pronounce it as cucumba.
Okay.
It's not like cucumber. We go cucumba. So it was quite amusing. But honestly, like stealing plants is a very nice stereotype to say for Jamaican women because we are really fucking sexualized. It's not even anyway.
That's true. Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, not even because of carnival. It's like just, well, I guess dancehall has a lot to do with it too. But like in life, we were always just so sexualized. It was so awkward. Guys would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you."
Oh, looks like you froze.
L.
Oh snap! This time is the difficulties are there. No shade, Ron. But
am I here now?
Yeah, you're here. You like crap.
Oh my goodness, that's embarrassing. I probably had like a weird ass face too.
It's okay. I didn't take a picture of it, so no one knows.
Well, like we can always go back to it.
Oh yeah, you're right. We can always.
I don't want to. I'm just saying.
You're right.
I mean, we got Meech over here. Hopefully, Meech didn't do anything weird.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Fingers crossed.
Man, that's okay. Well, that's fine. Whatever. But I don't even know what the last thing I even said.
You were saying that you're sexualized in life, and like you said, it's so awkward. And I figured you were gonna say something about like maybe childhood or just like.
Oh no! Like I remember years ago in college, this guy at my job, I was working at like a restaurant, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna have you wine for me one day," and I'm like, "Oh goodness, I don't even know, sir." I'm not gonna do that.
Wow.
I was like, how old was I? Like 19, 20? And he was, who knows how, he was probably like in his 30s. Like that's.
Oh God, why do people like this? Was he a manager?
No, he was just one of the workers.
Okay, that's good because I've heard some stories about that too.
Yeah.
Still weird, but
yeah, I know. Like I started thinking back in college because like my niece is in college now. And it is like thinking about being 18 and yeah, I'm legally an adult. But when I think back on myself, I was like, man, I was like stupid as hell. Like, and you know, like hearing, like thinking back on like the slick things guys would say. And I'm like, especially older guys. And like, I would kind of understand it. But when I think back on it, I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have been saying that to an 18-year-old. We're like, you know, like half brain dead. You know, like we can't.
Come on.
It's like you shouldn't. No, dude, you can't. Don't be taking advantage of someone whose age still has the word teen in it.
That's still scary. It's like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, they haven't even sprouted up just yet. You know, it's like, come on, there's still little seedlings still trying to push up past the dirt, and you over here trying to impede on their progress. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Half brain dead.
It's true. Like your brain doesn't really start processing until like late 20s.
Facts.
Yeah, then you start to think back, and I'm like, whoa, what were these people doing to like talking to me like that? That's so messed up.
You were just existing in your Jamaican self, just whining in their imagination.
Damn, Toby, now I have a whole other thing to think about now.
Oh wait. Oh no.
But it's true though. It's true. Like I was just whining in their imagination, like, oh, I'm gonna have her whine for me, like this young little girl.
Yikes.
Right. Yikes. That's
yeah.
I know. I was just another hoe in his garden, you know.
Oh, he did get a chance to play with. That's even funnier.
I have a random story to tell. This has nothing to do with gardening, but the same job. So because I went to school in Tallahassee, so in Florida, we like to say the South is like the North, and the North is like South Florida is like the North, and North Florida is like the South, because North Florida is right next to like Georgia and Alabama and near Mississippi and all that. So, being in North Florida for college, it was interesting, like to see like Black Americans, because South Florida we have like a lot of Black, like Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Latino, and like some Black Americans, but very few, it seems. So to see like just Black people and white people, no Latino, blah blah, just like very like Black American. So working at like this restaurant, there were just some people who were, people who just lived in Tallahassee, and this was like one of their jobs, just trying to, you know, scrape by and all that, make rent and you know, feed their family and etc. So one of my friends at the job, Marcus, I mean, I was like 19, 20, he was like 23 or so. He already had 2 kids. Great guy, like with 2 different women, like great guy. And he would like come over to my place. I had 2 roommates from college. And, you know, we just like watch movies, drink, and just like hang out, or me and him will just like talk or whatever. And yeah, I have no idea what kind of clip Misha shared. Misha from Twitch. So, like, I guess I told one of like the other guys at the job, who was like this light-skinned black dude who was dating this other chick who went to, you know, Florida State with me, but she was like, I don't know, she was kind of like interesting, but she was dating like this dude. For whatever reason, the dude wanted to like hang out with me at my place. I guess he thought like I was sleeping with the guy who I hung out with at the job too. I was like, I mean, I assumed, he didn't say, but like this is just what I assumed, because I'm like wondering like, why the hell does he want to hang out with me so badly? Mm-hmm. So I didn't really hear from him. It was getting kind of late, but then he finally like came by and I put on a movie. It was like Sherlock, like the most like unsexual movie, you know, like just, all right, you said you wanted to come over and watch a movie. Here's a fucking movie. We're hanging out, whatever. And like, it was just like such a weird thing. I was like, I don't know why the heck he wanted to hang out with me so badly. I wasn't going to do anything with him, but I guess he just assumed I was going to.
Wow.
Like, he didn't really, like, from what I recall, he didn't really try anything. But it was just, but he didn't seem happy. I was like, what did you expect? Like, I literally said, we're going to do this. And we did this. And that's it. I don't know why you wanted to come by so badly.
Oh, man. That man did not get the memo when you said Netflix and chill really meant Netflix and chill. Like, dude, that's it.
Yeah.
If you want to bring popcorn, great, but that's it. You ain't getting no double feature, no nothing.
You're right. I mean, I don't know what my friend said. It was like, I mean, he'd always like my friend who would come over. He enjoyed just like talking and hanging out. Like, he really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he was always respectful. So I guess when he would tell maybe other people at the jobs, like, yeah, you know, I went over to Al's house and I had a great time. They probably
so it's like, oh, I'm about to have a great time too. I'm
right,
exactly. Like, oh no.
It's like, no, he just had a genuinely good time.
Yes. Watching movies and talking about it. And,
talking about life, you know?
Yes. Oh, sounded like college life down in Tallahassee was nuts.
I mean, it for some people, yeah. I know that was a joke, but like for some people, literally, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were like probably top 5 biggest party schools in the nation at the time. But
interesting.
Because it's a college town. Because we have FAMU right across the street and Tallahassee Community College.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wish I spent more time at FAMU. I think I was telling you guys about that. But not really.
That I didn't know about.
Yeah, yeah. Florida State's right across from FAMU.
Yeah. I just know these colleges by name, but like geography is shaky. Like I know because of you, right? That FSU was Tallahassee. I knew that UF was like Gainesville, wherever the heck that is. Like it's maybe an hour and a half from Orlando. I don't even know what's
about. Yeah. That sounds pretty accurate.
Because I went to Orlando for a computer conference, like a diversity in computing, and a lot of like Black PhD students that I knew at UF, they were PhD or masters in computer science. They were able to easily drive.
Right.
UF. I was flying from like upstate New York, or at the time I actually might have been coming from Boston, probably New York. But in any case, I remember that's how I know so specifically that it was a 90-minute drive. And some people even came from like Atlanta which I can't be that close, but they definitely had to have driven probably maybe even 6 hours, maybe more.
I was going to say about 6 hours because Atlanta is in like the northern part of Georgia. I don't know how many hours it takes to drive through Georgia, maybe like 4 or 5 hours. Probably like 4, because then but I don't know which way they would have to go through, maybe through Jacksonville? Because there's not too many like roads that like come in right through.
It goes
yeah, so they'd probably have to like
go
this way. Like this is like Atlanta, so they'd probably have to go through here and then through Jacksonville, then come down.
The reverse.
I'd assume. I don't really know. So there's not too many roads that just like come straight down through Florida.
Right. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like highways, yeah.
Right. Sure, you're right. Oh man, yes. So, sir.
Yes.
Gardening.
Well, because I said some like various things, but I don't think I explicitly talked about my own gardening experience, which really is not anything recent, to be honest. But when I was younger, my mom used to garden. Like, I mean, my mom, there's still gardens outside. I should have actually really asked her like beforehand. It would have been nice to have picked her brain a little bit to kind of get a refresher on what she does, like with gardening now, and also kind of remember what she used to do. But I used to go out and like help her pick. Like we would check. I mean, I probably wouldn't help to spray, to water, like, because this was like big gardens, like vines type of things, and like wooden pools. So like you had a whole setup where you actually had like not just the shallow. Okay.
Nice.
Fruit flies. These fruit flies are annoying.
Ah, geez. Yeah, you have to like set like a little cup of like apple cider vinegar.
Another one. Apple cider vinegar. It's like, apple cider vinegar. You also need soap, a little bit of drops of soap.
Maybe. Apple cider vinegar is enough though. And then let's get like a saran wrap or whatever, then like poke a little hole.
Yep, someone else was just telling me about that. And I heard about that some years ago. I did try it and it works, but sometimes like I get a little impatient. Sometimes I just like keep it out and open. Because I'm like, you guys need to go through the holes in the saran wrap. But in any case, I'm gonna take care of that soon. But I would help pick tomatoes. I remember cucumbers. Cucumber. Those are the two main ones I remember. My mom may have grown spinach. I just remember a lot of different like relatively easier things to grow. Like nothing like potatoes. That's like more, I would say, a little hardcore because it all grows under the earth. So you have to like know what's going on and hope that it's actually correct. And then like there was a movie called Faith Like Potatoes, a Christian type of movie, and it was literally about don't mind me, I just have my little what do you call this, pest control. It's like natural too, so it's supposed to be non-toxic, I think, so it doesn't hurt pets. It doesn't really talk about plants and stuff. This is not for use on plants or aquatic environments. So this is not an advertisement for those who have gardens. Just to know, I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look at this one too. This one doesn't say. So this one's like peppermint oil type of flavor. This one is like flavor, not flavor. Please don't ingest. This is peppermint oil scent. This one is lemongrass scent. But I did buy these a few months ago because I was like tired, not of the fruit flies in my apartment, but my car actually had an infestation. So I had to go to try and spray some stuff there. But in any case, I don't remember using pesticide that much when I was helping my mom, but I do remember spraying just with water even some things. And then I know that they also had like a hose because there was like other things that needed to be watered. And I remember the ground was tilled. So this was like when I was really young, like let's call it 1999, 2000, when I first moved to Maryland. No, probably like 2002, 2003. I was in third grade. And
you were in third grade in 2003?
2002 to 2003. My year matches up with the grade. So I graduated high school in June 2012. So it's always very easy to remember what year I was in school because it was basically that year.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
2012, 12th grade. So 2000, this was like third to sixth grade, so it had to be 2002 to probably 2006. And I remember, yeah, all these different things. And we were like, I remember the packets of seeds. I don't think I really did the whole process with her, so I don't remember planting the seeds really. I don't remember really the dirt. I don't remember actually like making that, like everything in the rows and the grid. But, you know, she did a lot of work for it. My dad must have been doing it too. Like they tilled the soil and everything. And then in my most recent house, or houses, when I moved to a different part of Maryland, for those who know, I grew up in Salisbury, and then Waldorf in Southern Maryland was the second part. So in Southern Maryland, where my family still lives, those were like, it wasn't the whole ground tilled. It was more just like you had different boxes, and you know, boxes or like buckets. There might have been some things that were kind of like up on some kind of like mesh or wooden poles that grew like vertically, but I don't remember what they were. I really wish I had asked, or even if I had like a picture. But I'll see it next time I go home, or I'll just ask one of my siblings to send me one. But yeah, I wouldn't say that we like grow a lot of stuff nowadays. Like I don't remember my mom or me helping to bring any in like fresh vegetables. Like it's not like our way of sustenance. We go to the grocery store like a lot of people. We don't even necessarily do farmers market, which is another great conversation to talk about, supporting local farmers in gardens. But you know, like I think we have access because we live in like a pretty suburban area that like it's not really that urban. Like let's call it 45 minutes from DC. It's just like, you know, small town type of area. With like some influx of like, I mean, I don't want to say urban presence, but like there's people who come from DC and some of the greater, you know, majority Black neighborhoods around there. But then it's also like there's a lot of farms nearby. So there's definitely access to farmers market and like fresh farms. Like I've been on a farm in high school, like as a school trip or whatever. And definitely when I was in Salisbury, because that area was much more farmlandy and more rural. Like it was still suburb, but it was definitely more country. And then it's coming up to Mass. I definitely have not personally experienced gardening, but like I know there's always talks of like, I don't know, urban. Well, first of all, there are people who go to real farms. Most of it's animal farms, granted. Hey, thank you. Yeah, that fridge, man. Nothing compared to my other fridge, but like I make it work.
Yeah, we missed the fridge.
Yeah, I forget. I actually don't remember it now as much because in the beginning I was like, that fridge, ice maker, and everything was so convenient. Now I just am used to like not having a nice fridge, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, you know, like when designing the new logo for the Melanated Council, and like Ron and Toby can attest to it, I was trying to incorporate a fridge into the logo.
The Pelosi fridge.
Right.
God, yes, because that fridge, that was like the height of the pandemic, and of course the very unfortunate incident with Pelosi showing her ice cream. So yes, that was the joke. My goodness, I mean, it's been over a year now. Really, I mean, I moved in April, but like, it's just so crazy, like the evolution of the stream or the different jokes. Because yeah, that fridge was like
A staple.
It was a staple. Yes, like crops. Like the crops.
You should ask your landlord to get you a stainless steel fridge.
Oh gosh. No, that's definitely not like, because it's like one of those a property managed type place. Like if you actually can pull it off, like if I had like a real like standalone house, like I did when I was in grad school, it was like a 2-floor, like 2 flats, I guess, 3-person apartment for each floor. And for that one, we didn't even have to ask. We asked some things like, you really need to get like, why is this like smoke detector like falling off the wires? Why is this like buzzer? I don't think the buzzer ever ended up working.
What?
But like there may have been some kind of buzzer / like for the doorbell, but like no one's using that thing. But we had to like request these things to be upgraded. Thermometer was very old and just weird. So yeah, there are some things that you definitely can. But for a place like this where everything is like kind of cookie cutter, imagine, can you upgrade my apartment and give me a stainless steel fridge? Oh God. Same thing with the microwave.
It's gotta like break something.
Man.
And I'm gonna get charged for that. They don't care. They're not gonna care.
Just keep the doors open for like days. Like,
Toy was living in the ghetto.
No, that place in upstate New York, it was really like some of those houses really were shoddy looking. Troy, New York. I mean, it was like weird because it was kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it was also like low key, like an urban, like small, like it used to be an old factory town, I think. So like old mills and stuff, and it had like an up and coming downtown, and that was an interesting place. Very cheap.
out of my project window. Oh, I feel uninspired.
Come on, Al. Let's go with some vocals.
But I can't fully understand oops, I messed up.
I think it was like a Nas song or something.
Okay.
Might have been.
I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Dang. Well, I'm gonna have to play that back and find the lyrics or find the song. It's okay.
I'll see if I can find it.
There you go.
Out of my project. Looking out of my project windows. Yeah, Nas featuring Ronald Isley. Ooh.
Ronald, okay.
Okay, an Isley brother.
Yeah.
Looking out of my project window. Oh, I feel uninspired.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yes. That's awesome.
I got the microphone now, so.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I have no idea how my voice sounds. I hope it's not, nails on a chalkboard.
No, definitely not.
Never. Ever. Maybe some other people, but no, yours no.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Singing. Oh yeah, we still need to have a karaoke. Well, maybe not me, but I'll moderate, I guess.
No, you'll sing the karaoke.
Karaoke night.
Yeah.
I mean, you always like to show drinks that you're not drinking, so you might as well drink the drink that you have. Don't let it expire, and start singing karaoke.
Shade.
Or drink the expired drink. It might make you.
It might make you sing better.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
You might discover something.
Lord. Yeah. So in conclusion,
in summation,
you see those memes with like the PowerPoint, like a black guy in the PowerPoint. One of them is very not appropriate, so I won't say on the line, but it was like, in conclusion, something that happens that indicates that you're aroused. And it's just like a reaction to, I guess, something good that's happened. But I've also seen other twists on it where it's like, in conclusion, comma, something. And it's just like, yes. So in conclusion, I be gardening them hoes. Not recently, but long time ago. I do know people who do go on real farms though, but it's mostly animal farms, so it's different. It's definitely different because that's like, and farming is like definitely a relevant topic, but a bit different because gardening, anyone can garden. Farming takes much more planning and upkeep. So farming, we'll be on the lookout for that. I do know of people who've done like urban, like in their own apartments, they may have like mostly plants. I would say less like actual vegetables and crops, but mostly people have plants. I can't think of one, like petunias. I don't know. People have random plants that they put in their windowsill. And like you said, Al, it's like a way of like coping with quarantine or even before quarantine, but especially in quarantine. It's like, let's have some life and color. You have something that you have to come home to and like is alive in your apartment besides you. And if you have roommates or family, then of course you have people. But if I live alone, maybe I will get plants, water it, and take care of it. I just haven't seriously looked into it. But hey, recommendations. If people want to talk about plants, maybe I'll get a little kit and hopefully it doesn't die.
There you go.
And related to that, funny enough, I wouldn't even say it's because of my mom's influence. I just somehow like ended up doing it for high school, I feel like 3 out of 4 of the years that I had to do science fair, actually 2 of 3 years, I had to do science fair for 3 years, and that was never a fun process. Like, not that I don't like science, like I literally like,
like got a degree,
but like the kind of science that's more like experiment, like like the whole like scientific method, like that stuff was never like I don't know. Sometimes it was just like very annoying to go through, and I'm not really sure if I know what I'm doing that works. And then I don't even think I did the procedure correctly. My conclusions are iffy. But I did basically gardening for 2 or 3 of my years for science fair. I think like my sophomore year, I think was more complicated. I was, God, like looking back at it, it's a little, I wouldn't say cringe, but it's kind of like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I was trying to see like if you can have like a rig where you have plants, and if I take like light that gets reflected, conclusions are if I reflect light through like a series of mirrors and tubes, will the light that's being reflected help the plant grow better than just direct light? And I feel like the answer should obviously be no, because you're going to lose some amount of light that comes in each reflection. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Right. Because maybe like the different colors of light might have a different effect on the plant. Because I mean, if it's a living being or organism, whatever being, I know that light is whatever, plant is a noun. So like if like I know that different lights have an effect on humans, because like like those big old fluorescent lights that they might have in like like warehouses and sometimes offices and things like that, because it's like lasts a long time or it's relatively cheap. Like it could might like give you headaches and things like that, and just get you like really irritated. Like that's had an effect on me personally. So I could see maybe different lights having effects on plants. Maybe I know that some plants can't take a lot of light. Some plants can't take like a lot of water. Some plants,
True.
Maybe just like the moonlight. I'm sure maybe like cacti especially. They probably, because like they're in the desert, so they probably need certain types of light and things like that. So, but it is an interesting thing. I understand that you're not like science, Toby.
Yeah,
STEM as hell. But there might be some sort of like, let's say if you're trying to grow like an apple tree, maybe like under a particular light that like the moon emits or something, or like a blue light, or I don't know, or something like that. That it might create a different type of flavor of apple or something like that. I don't know, but maybe not. I'm sure. But then again, like we don't know. Maybe they never. I'm gonna major in.
God.
I mean, they have stems, so like.
Boom.
So they could.
Oh man,
we're gonna be on fire tonight.
Yes.
I don't know. Mercury is no longer in retrograde, I guess.
You're right, though. Like there are like different, and I was trying to figure that out too. Like what plants I try to use as like because I mean I had to try different things. So of course you have to keep certain things the same and keep other things constant. So I think like the only thing I really did different was the mirrors. Probably not 2 plants. I had to probably try multiple plants. Like the same type of plant, but or most likely I had different plants, but I was able to kind of replicate it with different types of rigs. So no mirrors, some mirrors, more mirrors. I don't know. I don't really remember how many I did though, because it was already a lot of work to get the mirrors set up in an angle, like inside of a tube, in a way that everything was like, I don't know. The mirrors were at the right angle to each other, and it was a little odd, but it was definitely a lot of work to like just get everything documented and set up. But I gardened. I don't really think that anything really grew out of it, but I tried. And then I think the junior year science fair. The rig was a lot easier. I was looking at pH of soil to see what helped plants grow better. So that one I just basically added like something to the plants to make it more alkaline or acidic, like some kind of fertilizer, and I kept everything else constant. So that was a lot easier because I didn't have to like have a freaking maze of mirrors inside of a box. But that was like gardening in high school, but that was because of the science. And again, it's not like I loved gardening. I just somehow thought, it's kind of an easy-ish thing. I didn't have to like get expensive equipment. I just needed to get a few seeds and put stuff in a bowl, measure the water and the whatever every day, do it, check, and so on and so forth. So if I actually did it for myself, I probably wouldn't need to go in that level of like annual measurements, but it might be fun to just try to see like what can grow indoors. Which, speaking of, and this will be the last tangent before I pass the mic. When I also was in high school, there were certain like community gardens that we created. I shouldn't say I did, but like my mentors, like I had organizations I was involved in that did things around like, just it's hard to explain, but community engagement, mostly like in health. So being able to like, it was like anti-tobacco, which eventually became redundant because the whole state passed laws against tobacco and smoking. But there was like health and fitness, getting people more healthy and trying to use like popular ways, whether it was like dance, martial arts, whatever. But the one that we did on gardening was like sustainability. So we started introducing sustainability. So how can you like have your own garden? And we had like a compost center in our school, which might be why I was so into like composting and recycling. But I remember that we had like community gardens and we taught people how to like make what we call salad boxes. So you take like dressers from really like drawers from like you took like the cabinets or whatever you call the individual thing, like the individual drawers out of like a dresser, put soil in it, and you could basically grow like spinach, tomatoes, and other shallow root plants because you don't need very deep roots, so you can actually grow them indoors. More importantly, you can grow them without having like a deep pot. So I thought that was very interesting, how it's like even if you don't have like your own land, you can still grow things as long as you have enough light, fertilizer, water, and the like. So I didn't make the salad boxes personally, but I did like, I don't know, I did activities involving the gardens and stuff. So that dropped way off after I graduated high school, to be honest. But I feel like everywhere I've been, there have been initiatives. Like we got a community garden in college around the time that I went. I never really did anything with them or even visited them, but I thought it was kind of cool that it became more of like a push to be sustainable. Though again, it takes a lot of work to really be sustainable because like anyone can grow a little garden, but are you really putting your life into it so that you're only getting your food from your own personal garden? And the truth is probably not.
Right. That's hard.
But at least they're introducing that to like the youth, as if I'm not youth myself, but like pre-adults, like the teenagers and the people who don't live by themselves, they can get exposure to like seeing a garden that they can contribute to, even if you don't have like your own land. So,
right.
In conclusion, gardening is varied. I think.
Man. You're good. You're good.
That was only a one sentence conclusion, Toby. That's like a C- essay.
Oh, well, I didn't know how many conclusions I should. I told, like me said, my conclusions are iffy. So my conclusions are iffy. Listen,
you did not pass this Gordon Rule class.
I'm the T in STEM. Okay, the S is a little iffy, but the T. All right, let's talk about technology.
Oh man. So I'm happy to hear you guys' experience because a lot of the things that you guys have said I have experienced in my own garden, and with probably mine, I started mine last year during the pandemic, just experiment just to kind of see what would grow, what wouldn't grow. Last year I didn't have nothing at all. It was all greenery, nothing else. Okay. So this year, went at it again, And actually, I will show you what I actually picked out of my garden. And a lot of the stuff I've already eaten, so I couldn't show you. But I will drop it in the chat, and you guys can kind of see it from yourself. Hold on. So, like I said, over the last year, pretty much got into the gardening thing, and I grew the first thing that I grew, and it was really successful, was cucumbers. I actually had a cucumber plant, and I managed to get 3 of those, and they were a lot bigger than the ones that I saw at my grocery store, especially my local grocery store. They were like way bigger than them. And so I was like, okay, cool, great. Like, what else can I grow? And so I was trying to grow strapes. I was trying to grow strawberries and grapes. Not happening. I got vines, but no grapes. My strawberries, for whatever reason, the plant is super tall, but nothing. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna worry about it. So instead, I grew some okra, and this is actually one of the okra plants that I actually grew.
I love it. It's really green.
Yes.
It's like a lighter green than what you'd see in the supermarkets.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then I also got the sweet pepper.
Ooh.
I got a bunch of these, and I used a bunch of them, and I am currently got some raspberries going, and those are turning out fantastic.
Okay.
Those are turning out fantastic. I picked some a couple weeks ago just to kind of taste them, and boy, they taste a lot better. And again, putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of work, just to kind of make it happen. It's like, yeah, it does. Like, to your point, Toby, it does. It takes a lot. It takes a whole lot. And even then, just cutting them down so they can have a chance to grow the next year is like, yeah, it's a lot. I went through so many different kinds of fertilizers just to kind of make sure it grew. I think the one thing I tried to grow but failed terribly was the tomatoes that grow on the vine. Failed. Absolutely failed. They came up looking like blueberries, but they weren't supposed to be blueberries. I know. Weirdest thing ever. But yeah, I did that. I think the next thing I want to try to grow for the next season, but I might do it indoors because the weather here in Michigan is getting ready to change, surprisingly. Is I want to start doing a lot more of the spices, like the basils, like the thyme. I think I got a garlic plant out there. I think I have matter of fact, I know I have a garlic plant. I had to reach down and grab the bowl. But yeah, I actually got a garlic plant. And I'm trying to think, what else did I have? Oh, a blueberry or a blackberry plant. But it hasn't produced anything yet, which I'm okay with, because I know I when I got them, it was already trying to do something, but then again, I probably need to buy like a bigger container so it can kind of grow a little bit more. So that's probably going to be the next thing I do next year. Is I probably end up splitting up a lot of my plants and put them in a bigger containers or receptacles, just so they can have a lot more room to grow and everything else. But even still, it's like just actually doing it was like, it was cool. It was a really fun experience. And I'm going to find that picture. I'm going to find a picture, and I'll send it in the chat and let you guys see that cucumber. But man, I'm telling you, probably the best tasting cucumber, period. Like it was really, it had that nice crisp crunch to it, and it wasn't too sweet, but it was just like, man, delicious.
Okay.
It was delicious.
Got me wanting to try one now.
I know. I
Well,
think
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I believe that, you know, these vegetables and fruits taste a lot better because, you know, it has a really important ingredient, and that ingredient is love.
Yes. Oh yeah. I got a lot of love to give. Got a lot of love. But yeah, it like I said, it was a really fun just watching them, just watching everything grow and being able to actually do it, because I wasn't sure if it was going to turn out right. And I knew earlier in the season, a couple of them died. And I'm like, okay, that's done. But they grew, they came right back. So I'm like, okay, so I'll probably have a chance. So that was cool. Like I encourage anybody, if you want to start your garden, go for it. You know, and you'll be surprised. You'll definitely be surprised. Okay.
Pleasantly, hopefully.
Huh?
I said pleasantly, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, like it sounds really cool because, like, it's like a sense of pride too, and like the fact that you're literally eating off the land and you totally can do, like, you know, it's like it's free.
Yes.
It takes a long time, but it's free.
Yes. And I know me and the missus, we're talking about moving, and then the next time we move, we want to have like a space big enough to transplant a lot of the plants that we have in our pots and put them in the ground.
Right.
And I'm like, yes, I'm all for it. I am totally all for it, because if I'm able to grow enough to the point where if we don't have to go to the store, cool, great. You know, and even then, she's talking about
one thing, you know, like you don't have to buy cucumbers at least
right
for the next couple of months. You don't have to buy blueberries for the next couple of months, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it saves money.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, because even then, she's taking up an interest in canning, and so
and so
what she wants me to do is she wants me to start learning how to start growing different kinds of peppers, so she can make our own salsa and can it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm totally all for it.
Mm-hmm. So how did you get into gardening? Was it just because of the pandemic and being at home, or was it something like your family did or anything?
Well, it's funny, you know, because my dad, when I was young, my dad always talked about he wanted, you know, to teach me and my brother how to live off the land. And one of the things was going fishing. You know, never got a chance to do that. Then the second thing was like going hunting, but again, never had a chance to do that. And so the third thing was like, well, we could start growing our own plants and everything else. And so on the side of our house, we actually had like a little space where we were starting to do like our own little small garden. And it took off really nice. Of course, we had to take out the weeds and everything else. The only issue that we had was the neighborhood that I lived in Grand Rapids had a bunch of stray cats. And so you had the stray cats coming in and picking at some stuff. And if it wasn't the cats, and it was the squirrels who would pretty much do that. And even then, some of the kids in the neighborhood who were just rude and disrespectful, you know, mess with it and everything else. So he got mad. Stepmom got mad. And they're like, you know, hey, we're going to probably put up a fence or a gate to kind of keep everything or everyone out, just so it gives the plants a chance to live, which they did. You know, they did that and it worked. And I think we got hit with a weird snowstorm in Michigan, and it froze everything and it killed everything. So we're like, dang, that sucked. That sucked. Fast forward, here I am as an adult, and last year during the pandemic, I think it was one of the Yang Gang groups. They were talking about like, hey, look, we're doing a garden and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool, great, like that sounds fun. Like, why not? And so I think last year I started off with like maybe a couple plants, maybe, and like I said, they sprouted up. They were all green, but nothing came out, nothing produced. So I'm like, okay, cool, great. I just know that next year, when it comes time for harvest time, I'll have something. And a lot of that came true. Like I said, my cucumber came. I posted the picture in our
Yeah, it's a big cucumber. It's nice.
Yeah, mind you, I had two more from that one plant that were like that size, if not a little bit bigger. And it was fun watching it sprout out and spud. You can see the little flowering fall off and see the cucumber actually grow. It was like amazing, like wow. And we're like, if I could get like 3 more cucumber plants to replicate the same thing, like we'll be straight. We'll be straight. We don't eat a whole lot of cucumbers, but when we do, we do. And so, yeah, like I'm willing to pretty much like the current setup that I've got right now. I'm gonna let that one just ride out. Probably get some more of the raspberries and eat those, and then after that, just start cutting them down in preparation for next season. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll go and see if the one plant that I do have back there, if it is my garlic plant, and I'll cut the stem, retrieve the bulb, and show y'all the bulb. And so that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I love garlic, especially like from like the bulb itself. Mm-hmm. So I was just thinking, like, man, I should probably try to like grow garlic. Definitely want to grow like maybe like just seasonings. I think that's like spices and things. So that would just be like really easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it doesn't have to be like anything big. It could probably just be something on a windowsill too.
Oh yeah. I mean, my mom, when we first moved out to Michigan, my mom had a huge garden, and like she grew tomatoes, peppers. She grew like 3 different kinds of peppers. She had like collard greens growing in her garden, which were like better than the grocery store, you know. And even then, she would pick some, and whatever she couldn't keep, we got, and they were still like delicious, very much delicious, She had some blueberry plants in there too as well that tasted really, really good. I think she was trying to grow another type of berry, but it didn't take off the way how she wanted it to. But it was like, okay, cool, great. But even then, the community garden that's like down the street from her house has a huge garden. And I mean, we did potatoes. We dug up potatoes, and they had a very nice blackberry patch, raspberry patch, blueberry patch, and just picking off. I'm like, oh yeah, like I could do this all day. Like, you really like those blackberries? Like, yeah. Like, you don't want, like, because they had the red ones, and the red ones, they weren't super ripe. The black ones, of course, those are the ones that were ripe. So I would pick off all the red ones, and then I would turn around and find the black ones and eat those ones. And like, you really like blueberries like that? Like, yes. Like, anything that is natural that I can actually pick up with my hands and eat it and not die from, yes, I'm all for it. All for it. And it was just an amazing experience, and just learning from them as far as kind of how to help out with my garden at home. It helped out a lot. So again, I recommend anybody who wants to start a garden, go for it. And especially if you want to do something small, go for it.
Where do you get the seeds like that? Because wouldn't different
Mhm.
seeds produce like different tastes though?
Right. So for those of us that lives in the Midwest, the grocery store that I typically go to is Meyer. It's a big family owned grocery chain that stretches from Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and some parts of Illinois. Okay. And they have a nice pack of seeds there. Also, Menards, they also have their own kind of seeds in plants as well. Walmart, I stay away from. Like, I don't trust Walmart for a lot of reasons. I don't. But a lot of my seeds that I got, even the ones I actually still have a lot of the seeds that I use, I got them from between Meyer and Menards. And just pretty much follow the directions. I normally do like a thumb, get my soil, put a little thumb in there, drop the seed in, cover it up, and just water it. And
No, I'm curious.
right, say less. Say less.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh man. Poor L.
I already have it. Hold on.
Oh, poor L. Why are you catching L in 4K?
I know, right?
Oh man. Catching L in 4K. But no, I got like like I said, my local grocery store in Menards. No, not Menards, Home Depot. I'm sorry. My local grocery store in Menards. That's where I got the majority of my seeds from. And even then, a lot of the pots that I got them between Home Depot and Meyer. And the soil I got between again Home Depot and Menards. Not Menards, Home Depot and Meyer. Menards is thinking about me for whatever reason. They both got a sale going on with their garden set. I don't know. But that's pretty much where I got my start from. And the one thing I wanted to do was get a above garden set, which is like a 5x5 square, and use that to get that going. And didn't get it because it was like $100. Like, I don't have $100 to do an above garden. Like, not yet. Next season, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely for sure. And so I got a lot of the stuff between Meyer and the Home Depot just due to the fact it was there, and a lot of the pots I got, they were on sale. And I'm trying to think, what else did I get? Got my fertilizer between the two stores, but the pesticides and the spray to kind of keep away the black spots from growing on your plants, I got those ones from Meyer, just due to the fact that reading the ingredients on them, a lot of them were very pet friendly, meaning that they didn't damage the plants, but they targeted the roots. They targeted the roots of the weeds, and they also targeted the actual insects that actually damages your plants. And Home Depot, I mean, they had some, but it wasn't what I was looking for, because of course I got animals too as well, and I didn't want anything to run off and mess them up on the inside. So I'm like, yeah. Right. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I got was from my local grocery store and from the Home Depot. And even right now, if you go through the clearance section, a lot of like the starter kits, they probably have on clearance. And you can go from there. A lot of times you don't really need a whole lot of soil, just a little bit, and just start your gardening from there. and then you could transplant your whatever you're growing into a bigger plot and go from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And the one thing I sucked at but got better at was the watering part. I typically water the plants every time I let my dogs out to go and use the bathroom. And so I made it a habit to water my plants then. And then, just to kind of make sure if there were any damaged like limbs, take them off and cut them off so that way it doesn't hinder the growing process. And making sure that everything was kosher for them, And like I said, now here in Michigan, since the weather's starting to get a little bit cooler, I'll probably end up starting cutting down a lot of the plants just so I can preserve them and prep them for next season. And no, I'm no expert. I just go. I talked to a lot of people and they gave me some information. I'm like, okay, cool. So talking to a lot of people who've already had like successful gardens, that helps me out with mine. And a lot of the stuff that they said, it actually works. And next year I want to buy a greenhouse, like a really nice sized greenhouse. I know Amazon got a few of them. And the one I want to get is like you're able to walk in and pretty much be able to check on your plants and make sure they're good and everything else. Just something basic. So if the weather gets cold, at least they have something to kind of survive in. So that's the next thing, the next project, I should say.
Okay, all right. Sounds really exciting.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's a big upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those skills that once you learn it, it'll carry you through a while. It'll carry you through a while, So yeah, go for it. Like I said, go for it. Start something small, like spices. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm definitely gonna try to get into that. Like in South Florida, has a very doesn't get like frigid cold.
Right.
So it's always like Florida in general is like an ideal state to grow like vegetation like that in California. So I heard like a huge part of our country's vegetation comes from California. I heard. Which is surprising. I thought it was like just throughout the country, especially like the flyover states.
well, actually, of course, your state helps out in that area as well. Like a lot of the oranges we get from Florida, a lot of I know every now and then I get some grapes that come from Florida. I'm like, ooh, I'm eating some grapes from L State. Woo, woo.
It's true, yeah. Oranges, grapes.
Yeah.
I want to say strawberries, because there's this little area in Central Florida called Immokalee, where a lot of like immigrants go to like pick fruits and things like that.
Yeah.
So I believe strawberries is another fruit is something that they pick. I gotta look into it, which is but it's sad. I remember learning about them like in college, which is way fucking late. And like just how little money that they get. It's like, geez. And but we're in this labor shortage. And it's weird that, the immigrants aren't just, taking those jobs because
they're there.
Yeah. Of course I'm being sarcastic, everyone. It's just the whole like, oh, the immigrants are coming and stealing our jobs.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look at this. We have all these job openings.
Right.
So strange.
Actually, that's an interesting point because the complaint is that the borders, and I mean there are definitely things that could be redone and revamped and fixed when it comes to the system, but like there's a lot of complaints about the border is open, people are flooding in, but then at the same time all these jobs are unfilled. So how do you have like a mass immigration that's a problem, and then we also have jobs that aren't being filled?
Right.
And that like shouldn't all the jobs be taken by all the immigrants that have just been like overrunning the country?
Yeah, that's just been like flooding into the border. That's
Right.
a huge problem with people who live in Iowa.
Oh yeah,
because they're like right next to the border.
God.
Like, was it like Florida's governor, my governor, unfortunately, was like sending police or the National Guard or some shit over to the border because it's like it's so bad.
Oh wow.
It's like okay. I mean, because that's way more important than the fucking pandemic that just ran through the state. That like this is why our cases are going down because it ran through the state. So like, yeah, the Delta variant,
herd immunity, basically.
Right? Yeah, like it's a sad realization. I knew that was going to happen. But it's like, well, there's a vaccine. So I don't know what to tell you. I understand, like, there are some communities, especially like the Black communities, that may have difficulty, getting to the locations where there's a vaccine, and also misinformation and the reluctance in the Black communities, especially to get the vaccine. I think that's starting to go away. Now a big issue is the non-English speaking communities, primarily like the Latino communities or Latinx or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I hear that Latinos don't like being called Latinx.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So Spanish speaking communities. I mean, I'm gonna probably offend a lot of non-Spanish speaking white people if I say Latino. Because they get a lot of their news from WhatsApp and Facebook, and if it speaks in their language, they're going to read it, understand it, and comprehend it. It's not like they're unintelligent. It's just, I mean, if everything was told to you in English, and like, I was telling, like, if you're in a country where everybody spoke, I don't know, Japanese, and I'm the only English speaking person, and I have like a live stream here, and I'm saying, oh, don't talk to your neighbors because like they eat lizards. It's gonna sound a little bit crazy, but it's like, well, I don't understand anybody else except L, so maybe my neighbors do eat lizards.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like maybe like even if they were, like, it's not, shouldn't really change anything, but now this is some weird shit that you believe.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they feed their babies lizards or some BS. I really hope like that's not actual, like, I don't know, stereotype or rumor in the Japanese community. I never heard that. I'm just making up some shit. Right. I apologize ahead of time. Just like trying to drive a point. But like, it's something that's very hard to fathom, to be in a country that you don't really understand anybody except maybe like your family and just what you read on your phone. And like, you're not watching the news because you can't understand the news, but you understand whatever is on Facebook, and like Facebook doesn't have many moderators for like other languages except for English. So like, we know who Dr. Fauci is. We have a pretty good understanding of what's true and what's not. But if Facebook is flagging or Twitter is flagging, oh, this is false, because we can understand that it is false, but it doesn't understand if like this in Vietnamese is false or this in like Mandarin is false, then it just gets spread, and it just spreads like wildfire. So right. I learned that from John Oliver. I'm not going to just sit here and pretend that I'm reading all this shit, but like
John Oliver. Wait, so what misinformation? WhatsApp or what's
misinformation through different languages, because like non-English speaking languages, because Facebook is American, Twitter is American, like Google is, they're all in the same state, California. So it's just, you have to understand and imagine that, yeah, they may have people from all over the world, like employees and whatever. It's most likely developers. It's not really like, like developers and maybe lawyers and accountants and things like that from different countries. But it's not really like the native speakers in terms of vernacular and flagging misinformation and things like that, especially since flagging of misinformation is something that's a relatively new concept in the social media world. Because even like upwards of like 5-6 years ago, that wasn't really a thing. But maybe, no, like I don't really think so. But because of especially Donald Trump and January 6th and everything, that's becoming an even bigger thing.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, let's at least try, but they can't just flip the switch and just be like, all right, developers in Myanmar or like developers in Singapore, or even though people in Singapore speak English, like developers. I don't know if that's like their main language, but I do know that they speak English. It's definitely, like a language that they know how to speak. But it's like, all right, now we'll start flagging misinformation and things like that. So you can't really like flip the switch with that. It's it's gonna be a lot bigger of a transition. So it's really unfortunate, because if you're just a Vietnamese person who came to America and just you're in a Vietnamese community and everybody around you speaks Vietnamese and you're all getting your information from the same sources, and there's like a Vietnamese person who's essentially like what's his face, InfoWars Alex Jones, and just being like, oh, if you take the vaccine, you'll get like, I don't know, it's injecting pig's blood into you, or is it some weird random thing, or it's like, which is against our like your religion of Christianity or something. I don't know, but like, I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I didn't know about that in Christianity, but okay, must have been a chapter my pastor never read to us.
Like, what book is that coming from? Because I don't think that's in there, but yeah.
Right. So if it's saying things like that, and like, this is the only information that you're hearing, this is all you're gonna know. But like, even us as English speaking Americans, we're susceptible of that as well, because of just especially fucking social media, with like how it's just so geared towards you. Like, it is almost, it's very eerie and unsettling how once Joe Biden won, how my social media just flipped. It was, just anger, vitriol for years because of Trump. And then Trump's gone. And now all that I see on my feed is just like, oh, the last thing you ate is the name of this puppy. And everyone's like, eggs, or like waffles. And that's just like that's just what's been Facebook.
Porn.
Yeah. Like, and you just sort of just like get into the spirit of it, because you see like, oh, my friend Karina commented on this, let me like that and then comment too, because this is a funny thing. Oh, what is the next text in your phone? Finish this sentence. Like, with this ring, I pronounce us. Where's your cell phone? Like, finish the auto, with the predictive text or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is essentially what Trump supporters saw for the past 4 years. Like their social media was like calm as shit. I'm sure there was like a hint of like, because I like this is like a weird thing, to like just say on air, but whatever. Because it's a freaking fact. Like sorry, not sorry. It's just when it comes to like right leaning news. Well, this is to the left, but like right leaning news.
Gotcha.
It's mirrored, y'all. I was raising my right hand, but to y'all it looks like the left. But like to right leaning news, it gets skewed easier. It gets like there's a lot more like conspiracy. There's a lot more falsehoods, unfortunately. Like and misinformation gets spread faster than truth, like 6-1 or something like that. And like as humans, we're like naturally inclined to like respond to certain words and certain things, and then the algorithm picks up on that and just kind of continues to push certain things. So we're attracted more to like negative. It's like like you see it on YouTube all the time where it's like social media is dead or something like that, and then that gets a lot of clicks because people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean social media is dead? Let me listen up about this, instead of something that's a little bit more positive and like, oh, like alternatives of marketing that aren't social media. You're like, like like uncommon marketing tips. You're probably not gonna. You might click, but social media is dead is a lot more of a driver, because you're like, what the hell are you talking about? I was literally just on Twitter, or like you just promoted this on Facebook, or it's like I'm on YouTube, which is a social media. I think I guess it would be like in the category. So it's like, what is it that you're talking about? So it's like a driver. It's a simple title, so it hooks you and it gets you in,
Right.
rather than something that's a little bit more positive leaning. So we're just, hence why like news articles tend to have like the headlines, which aren't necessarily written by the article writer itself. Usually the headline is written by more of like the search engine optimizer, or search engine marketer, like SEO, SEM person, or things like that, because like these are the words that are trending. And if you want the article and headline to, get a lot of like likes or, attention, then you're going to put in these words. So like usually like the headline, the subheadline, and like the tags are usually written by the search engine optimizer. Whereas like the article is written by like a literal journalist. So like so it could be a little shitty, it could be a little shifty, but it's marketing, it's capitalism. It's like you have to get the clicks and the likes. So most people don't really read the entire article. We mainly just read the headlines. Like I'm guilty of it. I will go on the stand, swear on the Bible, saying I am really hella guilty of just reading the headlines and not reading the entire article. I would freaking quote tweet things that are just the headlines, sometimes just to make a quick jab or a quick joke, just to be the first, even though I did not read the article. And it's not good. I feel like I'm a little innocent because, I'm not like famous. I don't have like 150,000 followers. I don't have like a massive following. But at the same time, like any one of us could just go viral and say something that's just totally false or like skewed, and then that sort of spreads and causes like a big uproar of misinformation. So I guess that's just something that we also have to be cognizant of. I'd be lying if I said I was. Occasionally I am, but I try not to be. But sometimes you just kind of want to create the quick jab of making something like funny. or making something witty, which could be like, which can have consequences as well. But yeah, I know this was like a super random tangent, but I guess like at the end of the day, like what I'm trying to say is, like right leaning tends to be a lot more like a lot more skewed. Also, the news articles tend to be more free. Like Breitbart, Daily Stormer, other right wing. Wall Street Journal is not free though, but Wall Street Journal is like, I would say, center right. But a lot of the news articles that are usually left leaning tend to be under a paywall, and a lot of us don't really have the money, so we don't really actually read the article, even though like the article can be, of course, skewed because it's written by a human being who has a bias. But it tends to be a little bit more like liberal, left-leaning news articles tend to be a little bit more truthful. Of course, it's not perfect. Like the New York Times has fucked people's lives over for being, skewing and being inaccurate just to, get likes and notoriety or whatever.
Right.
Washington Post has, I'm sure, as well. I haven't really heard any. Oddly enough, it's owned by Jeff Bezos, but I haven't really heard anything super terrible about the Washington Post, but I'm sure it has. If the New York Times can do that, then I'm sure Washington Post has. I really appreciate NPR because that's free and open, at least for now. I hope it stays that way. Yeah. I feel like the Atlantic was, and then it stopped, which I'm sad about. I feel like the Hill is usually open, I think.
Yeah, the Hill's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, misinformation gets I don't know how we got into this topic, but misinformation spreads fast as hell. And it's just, I don't know, unfortunate where we are, especially when we're not really catering to the non-English speaking communities. Because, they desperately need true messaging, and I feel like we're doing a massive disservice to them. Something gardening. Anyways, we're back.
There you go.
Find the root of the misinformation and weed out untruths.
Exactly.
Boom. And there you go. Gardening in effect in real life situations.
Yes. Plant the seed of knowledge.
Yes. And water it with truth.
Right. And spread it
far and wide.
Far and wide, yes.
Always make gardening puns, because why not? This is actually one of the best. And like easily, I don't know, this topic is just like a treasure trove.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. And so with that being said, we hope that you guys learned something. And even if you didn't learn something and just kick back and relax, just understand at the end of the day, try gardening. You never know. It'll probably be the one life skill that you have in your repertoire that's going to help you survive. Especially if folks talking about the zombie apocalypse. That's supposed to happen. Hey, you never know. If things go up in smoke and you don't know how to grow your own food, now would be a good time to practice. At least. Yeah. While the getting is still good. Okay?
Indeed.
Yes, Plants vs. Zombies.
That game. I forgot about that game.
Yeah.
Whole Garden. Here we go.
Yes. Good quality beer.
Yeah.
And no, this is not average. And no, Whole Garden does not sponsor us.
No, they should. At least me.
At least you. They should sponsor Toby.
I mean, they can sponsor all of us. I have no problem with that. But like the amount of puns and advertisement, free advertisement I've done with Hoegaarden on my own like social media, mostly Snapchat, they really should like make me a brand ambassador because I don't know how many puns I can make, like about Hoegaarden, but like it keeps on coming. What was the one song? Once upon a time, that long ago, I was a hoe. Except I said I used the hoe. Go to Hoegaarden.com and use offer.
Stop it! Stop it! Don't you dare!
No, we can't. No, we don't have an offer. We don't.
You can't.
Hold on. Let me actually go see. Is there even a Hoegaarden.com?
Leisha's out here thinking like we're gonna cut to commercial and be like, oh, what kind of beers have you been drinking, Toby? Well, I've been drinking Hoegaarden, and with our special code TMC, you can get Hoegaarden for 20%. No, we can't.
Thank you. Disclaimer: this is not real.
Yeah, it's not real. You can't. You can go and put it in, and you'll see like, oh, this isn't a real code. It might. I mean, I don't think it's a real code. It might be, but I doubt it. It could mean something else.
California. Where is Hoegaarden? Because I'm looking, trying to see. This is really strange. I can't find like.
Hoegaarden overseas. It's like a German.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoegaarden. I'm pretty sure Hoegaarden is no. It's Belgium.
Belgium, yeah.
Belgium. Yeah, it is Belgium. Yeah, it is
Belgium. Yeah. I was saying, Toby, you got the bottle in front of your face, dude.
Oh, Belgian wheat beer. Look at that. But the website, though, is what I really need to find.
Man, listen.
It's okay. But you know what? Let's get Hoegaarden.com. Oh, wait, there is a website on. Why does it say not found? Because when I go to Wikipedia, granted, Wikipedia is not always updated, but it says Hoegaarden.com is the website, and I got a 404. It literally says HTTP error, hose not found.
There are no hoes in this garden.
There are no hoes in this garden. Disclaimers. It just says requested resources not found. And we know what resource I'm requesting. So what is going on with this? All right, we'll set it up. Not really, but we can pretend. Hoes in the garden.com. Hey, don't tell me. I'm going to buy one of these domains.
Oh, man.
Hose in the garden. There's a Reddit for hose in the garden, but with one A.
No. 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 Oh, my goodness. Oh. Wow.
Okay. Neither URL exists, which means perfect time to start. I just need to save money so I can buy a bunch of domains. That's
there you go. There you go. And Elle, do you have anything you want to add?
Not really. Try gardening, and let us know.
There you go.
Also, there's one more. For anybody listening, we have a Discord channel. Yes. Yeah, we started a Discord channel. So if you'd like to, join us, throughout the week instead of just on Tuesdays to talk, shoot the shit, or, suggest any topics you'd like us to talk about or anything that you'd like us to go over, please join our Discord channel. You have the link to the Discord channel, Ronald?
I am getting that right now.
I want to ask if you wanted to put that in the description.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Put the Discord channel in the description box below, which I guess should be here on desktop and mobile devices. I remember for a moment it was over there, but that was years ago. That only lasted a brief moment. Thank God. That was confusing.
I don't really remember. Everything has changed so much, and every time there's a change, I'm just like, why do you guys do this?
Right. It was very short. It was a very short time. May have been a year. It was very, probably not even. It was very, very short.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah.
So Discord link has been posted, and not only in the chat section here, but we will also link it in tonight's stream as well. And if you're following us on Twitter, we'll post that link too as well. So that way you guys will have it. So yes, please join in and please send feedback and just kick back and relax and, you know, just have a good old time. So thank you, Elle, for mentioning that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else? No? Oh, wait. One more thing. You guys tune in for next week because it's going to be a special spooky event.
Very spooky.
Very spooky. And as spooky as we can get it, I guess.
Sorry, I'm not trying to over what's the word, hype expectations. I just it's the season to be spooky is all.
Right. It's gonna be a Halloween theme. If you join our Discord channel, you'll see my Halloween costume. It's one of the channels, one of the chat thingies.
Yeah,
one of the channels. They use channels.
Well, we have a Discord server, and it's in one of the channels. So I think that's the proper terminology.
There you go.
Kind of. I don't know.
No, you said it right. You said it right. It's a Discord server, and then there's a channel within the server that picture is in. Check it out.
Exactly.
And
see, Senpai noticed me.
Yes. I'm looking at it now too.
Yes, and I it's not cosplay, but I got mines and actually a day early, so I'm super happy, super stoked. So I'm gonna try it on. I'm gonna try it on sometime this week when I'm not stupid busy, and get to post that bad boy in the Discord too as well. Yeah. So you guys check that out. Thank you guys so much for sticking out with us. And again, please check out the Discord. Please check out previous videos. Slap a like, comment, follow, whatever the case may be. Just let us know you're still there and that you love us. And even if you don't let us know, oh well, we still love you too.
Yeah, we love you. We love you even if you don't love us.
Yeah, we need our haters too. So
okay.
That works. All right, until next week, you guys. Peace out.
Peace.